give some money, state government should give some money to panchayat, and they should conduct the elections properly. So there were many powers, or 33% seats should be reserved to women. So these were many powers that were given to panchayat. So because of this power, what happened? The panchayats become more and more stronger. So ये deepen करने के लिए, डेमोक्रेसी लास्ट आदमी तक पहुंचाने के लिए हमें टाइम लगा. 1950 से 1990 तक अराउंड 42 ईयर्स लगे हमें. सो ये टाइम लगता है डेमोक्रेसी एक सभी लोगों के पास पहुंचने के लिए. So this requires an attempt to bring down the control and influence of rich people. So if people are having power, then they will bring down the influence of rich people and powerful people in making government decisions. So if people are not having power in their hand, so if the people are not having the power, then rich people or powerful people will control all the decisions, and they will take all the decisions. They will not ask the people. So if people are having power, then they will take decisions for them. They will not listen to powerful people or rich people. So we should give power to people. So we have seen about 3 challenges. First was foundational challenge, like it takes time for transition from non-democratic government to democratic government. Then we have seen second problem, like we have to expand the democracy, challenge of expansion. So if the foundation of democracy is done, now it is our duty that we should give the powers of democracy, or we should give the rights of the democracy to all the levels of government or all the people. So all the people who are citizens of India, whether they are women or men, or they are poor or rich, or there are state government or local government, we should give power to everybody, or we should expand the democratic principles to everybody. We should give democratic power to everybody. So that is challenge of expansion. It takes time to expand the democracy. It takes time. Then we have seen about challenge of deepening of democracy. So once the democratic institutions are set up, जैसे लोकसभा बन गया या राज्यसभा बन गया, पंचायत बन गए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट बन गया, हाई कोर्ट बन गया, सब हमने बना दिया, इंस्टीट्यूशंस बना दिया. उसके बाद उस इंस्टीट्यूशन को इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग करना चाहिए हमने कि ये इंस्टीट्यूशंस अच्छी तरीके से काम कर सके. So that is challenge of deepening of democracy. So it also takes time. See, initially people are not knowing what is good for them, what is bad for them. They don't know about the functioning of that institution. अगर हमने पंचायत बना दिया, तो पंचायत में जो लोग चुन के आते हैं, शुरुआत में उनको कुछ नॉलेज नहीं होता है कि कैसे काम करना चाहिए पंचायत में. लेकिन जब भी कुछ टाइम होता है, तो कुछ टाइम के बाद उनको नॉलेज आ जाता है कि कैसे काम करना चाहिए, पंचायत में काम कैसे होता है, क्या पावर होते हैं सरपंच के. सो इट टेक्स टाइम. सो it takes time to deepen the democracy to the last level. See, next we will study about political reforms. See, as we have seen, there are various challenges that are faced by democracy. So now what we have to do, we have to reform the democratic system. If we are reforming the democratic system, then the democracy will be good, or the democratic principles will be properly implemented in the country, or in any country. So if we are doing some reforms, we have existing जो system है उसको हमने रिफॉर्म कर दिया या चेंज कर दिया, तो डेमोक्रेसी जो भी है, ये डेमोक्रेसी अच्छे तरीके से कंट्री में लागू होगा. So political reforms, generally all the suggestions or proposals about overcoming various challenges to democracy are called democracy reforms or political reforms. So there are many proposals and suggestions that are given by people. So people are suggesting something, or they are giving proposals about overcoming various challenges. So challenge जो हमने देखा कि ये जो भी challenge है, उसके challenge हमें क्या देता है, एक opportunity देता है overcome करने के लिए उसे. तो ये overcome कैसे कर सकते हैं हम, बहुत सारे लोग उसको suggestions देते हैं या बहुत सारे लोग proposal देते हैं. So that proposals or that suggestions are called as reforms, democracy reforms or political reforms. Every country has different challenges, so we need to different reforms for different countries. See, all the countries in the world are not same. Some countries are poor, some countries are rich. So all the countries are having different challenges. So as the challenges are different, then reforms should also be different. Only legal constitutional changes cannot overcome challenge. See, there are various laws that are made in our country. So only legal laws अगर बना दिया तो ऐसे नहीं कि laws सब follow करेंगे ही और सब change हो जाएगा. So only law making is not important. So law making is not enough. So only legal constitutional changes cannot overcome challenges. See, as we have seen, after 1992, our constitution was amended. In 1992, our constitution was amended and Panchayat Raj was introduced in our constitution. So ये legally अगर हमने पंचायत बना दिया तो काम नहीं हो जाएगा हमारा, हमने उसको पावर भी देना चाहिए. और पावर देने के बाद हमने देखना चाहिए कि अगर पंचायत काम कर रहे हैं कि नहीं ठीक से. If there are some problems in the panchayat system, then we have to solve that problem. So only making laws is not important. We have to see whether the people who are involved in working in that institutions are working properly or not. No doubt, law has an important role to play in political reform. Carefully devised carefully devised changes in law can help to discourage wrong political practice and encourage good ones. See, if the laws are good, then that law will discourage the wrong practices. अगर कुछ गलत काम हो रहा है तो वो law से हम रोक सकते हैं, and they can encourage good ones. We can take example of law that people above 18 years of age can only drive in India. ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस हमें 18 years के बाद मिलता है. तो ये लॉ है हमारी कंट्री में. ये लॉ का फायदा क्या है कि जो भी बच्चे छोटे 18 साल से नीचे है उनको इतना समझ नहीं होता है. जैसे हमारे कंट्री में वोटिंग राइट भी मिलता है हमें 18 years के बाद, तो हम कंसिडर करते हैं कि 18 years के ऊपर जो लोग हैं वो एडल्ट है. सो वी आर कंसिडरिंग दैट पीपल हु आर बिलो 18 years of age आर नॉट हैविंग दैट मच they are not that was grown up so that they can drive. So we have made a law that people above 18 years of age can drive. So this is the law, but this law will be applicable or this laws will be followed only when people who are implementing that law are good. If they are corrupt, then that law will not have any use. So ये लॉ हमने अच्छे के लिए बनाया कि जो बच्चे अगर ये गाड़ी चला रहे तो इनका एक्सीडेंट कर सकते हैं या कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आ सकता है, उनको बचाने के लिए और बाकी लोगों को भी बचाने के लिए हमने लॉ बनाए. ये लॉ तो अच्छा है, ये बैड प्रैक्टिसेस को रोक लेगा, लेकिन जो लोग उसको अप्लाई करते हैं, इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं लॉस को, अगर वो लोग ही करप्ट हुए तो ये बैड प्रैक्टिसेस नहीं रोक पाएंगे. सो ओनली लॉ मेकिंग इज नॉट इनफ. डेमोक्रेटिक रिफॉर्म्स आर टू बी कैरिड आउट मेनली बाय पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविस्ट, पार्टीज, मूवमेंट्स एंड पॉलिटिकली कॉन्शियस सिटीजन्स. सो कौन लोग डेमोक्रेटिक रिफॉर्म्स करते हैं? तो डेमोक्रेटिक रिफॉर्म्स करते हैं पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, देन पॉलिटिकल एक्टिविस्ट. इफ यू टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ इंडिया, देन अन्ना हजारे, he can be considered as political activist, and there are many people who are working for the betterment of democracy, like many news channels or many social reformers who are working for the common people. They can be considered as political activists. Or there are various popular movements, like there are many farmers who are protesting against the government. So there are various popular movements in our country. Then politically conscious citizen. If the citizens are conscious about their rights, they know what is good for them and what is bad for them, then only these reforms will happen. If the people are not aware about their rights, then leaders will not care about the people. So people should be aware, or conscious citizens are making reforms in the country. Any legal change must carefully look at what results it will have on politics. Suppose we are making any law, then we should carefully study the law. What if the law is good, then people will get good results from it. If the law is bad, then it will have negative impacts on the politics. If you take example, generally laws that seek to ban something are not very successful in politics. So there are many laws that are banning something, but that bans are not always good. There are some drawbacks of it also. Law must empower the people to carry out reforms. So law should empower the people. They should give the people power to carry out reforms in the country. For example, there were many states that have banned people who have more than 2 children from contesting panchayat elections. So there are many states in our country. One example is Maharashtra also. So Maharashtra has banned people or the citizens who have more than 2 children from contesting panchayat election. जिन लोगों को या मेल और फीमेल को 2 से ज़्यादा बच्चे हैं, उनको पंचायत इलेक्शन कंडक्ट नहीं कर सकते, वो पंचायत इलेक्शन में पार्ट नहीं ले सकते और वो वहाँ रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स नहीं बन सकते. सो दिस इज द बैन दैट वाज पुट बाय द पीपल. दिस वाज डन टू कंट्रोल द पॉपुलेशन. सो अगर लेकिन जिसके पहले से ही बच्चे हैं, जो पुअर है या वुमेन है जिनके पहले से ही बच्चे हैं, ये लॉ बनाने के पहले ही उनको अगर 2 से ज़्यादा बच्चे थे, सो दिस पीपल आर ऑल्सो नॉट गेटिंग चांस टू फाइट इन इलेक्शन. सो this has led to denial of opportunity to many poor and women. So because of this, many poor, many women who are deserving, who are having very good knowledge about the functioning of government, who were earlier members of panchayat and they were working very good. But because of this law, because of this negative law, these people cannot contest elections. So this is wrong for these people. This is bad for these people. So before making a law, we should check whether the law will be good for the society or it will be bad for the society. The best laws are those which empower people to carry out democratic reforms. So the best laws are allowing people to carry out reform. जो भी अच्छा law होता है, जैसे एक example है इंडिया में RTI law है, right to information. So right to information is giving power to people to ask questions to the government. People can seek information from the government. लोग गवर्नमेंट को क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं उनका काम, उनके काम के बारे में. तो ये काम, ये जो लॉ बना है, ये लॉ लोगों के लिए अच्छा है, क्योंकि लोग गवर्नमेंट के काम के ऊपर नज़र रख सकते हैं, और अगर गवर्नमेंट अच्छी तरीके से काम नहीं कर रहा है तो गवर्नमेंट को क्वेश्चन कर सकते हैं. सो दिस इज गुड लॉ. द लॉ दैट वी हैव सीन, द पीपल हु आर हैविंग मोर देन 2 चिल्ड्रन, that is bad for some people, but this law, right to information, is good for everybody. So right to information act is a good example of law that empowers the people to find out what is happening in the government and act as a watchdog of democracy, so they can keep watch on the democratic government. Such a law helps to control corruption and supplements the existing laws that ban corruption and impose such strict penalties. So this law is helping people to keep check on corruption. They can check whether the government is doing corrupt practices or not. If suppose we can take example of a bridge, if suppose government has constructed a bridge, and if you want to know how much money was constructed, how much money was used to construct a bridge, then we can file an RTI. हम RTI एप्लीकेशन दे सकते हैं गवर्नमेंट को, और गवर्नमेंट आंसरेबल है, गवर्नमेंट हमें बताएगा कि कितना पैसा खर्च हुआ है. अगर हमें लगा कि इसमें कुछ घोटाला हुआ है, इसमें कुछ घपला हुआ है और कुछ बैड प्रैक्टिसेस हुए हैं, then we can challenge that government. We can go to court, or we can ask questions to government, why you have used this much money. There was other bridge that was constructed in lesser money. So what is the reason for more money? If the government is not answering properly, then we can approach court also, and court will also check or investigate. There were many scams in India, like 2G scam. You must have heard about 2G scam or coal scam. There was one scam in Maharashtra called as Adarsh building scams. All these scams came into light because of RTI, Right to Information Act. These scams were known to people. So RTI is also having very good thing. RTI is the good thing that has done to fight against corruption. So there are some good reforms that were done in our country. So we should encourage these reforms so that people will get right to ask the government or to question the government. Such a law helps control corruption and supplements the existing laws to ban corruption and impose strict penalties. Therefore, the main focus of political reform should be on the way to strengthening democratic practice. So main focus of political reform should be strengthen democratic practice. So democratic practice है, जो भी democratic practice है, जैसे elections है या जो भी चीज़ है, ये strengthen करना चाहिए, इसको और strong करना चाहिए. So that are political reforms. See, if you take example of elections, then in India, people who are contesting elections or who are standing for elections, it is mandatory that they are giving information regarding their criminal background or regarding their property, regarding their education. So earlier that was not compulsory, but now it is compulsory. So this was one reform that was brought in India. So election commission ने अभी mandatory कर दिया कि जो भी लोग election contest करेंगे उनको अपना प्रूफ देना पड़ेगा कि अब कितना एजुकेशन किया है उन्होंने, या फिर कितना प्रॉपर्टी है उनके पास, क्रिमिनल बैकग्राउंड है क्या नहीं. सो दिस इज गुड थिंग, दिस इज गुड रिफॉर्म. सो दिस पॉलिटिकल रिफॉर्म शुड ऑलवेज स्ट्रेंथनिंग डेमोक्रेसी. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डेमोक्रेसी इज गेटिंग स्ट्रेंथन. So citizens can check whether the person is good or bad. If the person is bad, then they will not vote for him. So this is strengthening the democratic practice. The most important concern should be to increase and improve the quality of political participation by ordinary citizens. So if people are participating more in democratic practices or democracy, then only the quality of the decision will be increasing. So the most important concern should be to increase and improve the quality of political participation. So political participation means people are voting, or people are questioning the government, people are checking whether the government is working or not, whether the government is working properly or not. So if people are aware of their rights, then only the quality of the political participation by ordinary citizen will increase. So we should enhance the quality of the political participation. We should give more power to people so that people can check whether the government is working good or the government is working correctly or not. If the government is not working correctly, then people are having right to throw that government, overthrow that government. Any proposal of political reform should not think only about what is good solution, but also about who will implement it. See, if you are giving political reform, if you want to bring a reform, then we are telling this should be done or this should not be done. So this is the reform, this is the suggestions that we are giving. But along with the suggestion, we should build a mechanism that we should tell who are the people who will implement those policies. सिर्फ पॉलिसीज बनाने से कुछ काम नहीं होगा, हमें बताना भी पड़ेगा कि कौन पॉलिसीज वो इम्प्लीमेंट करेगा. इफ यू आर डूइंग एवरीथिंग, इफ यू आर गिविंग सम राइट्स टू सम पीपल हु विल इम्प्लीमेंट दैट पॉलिसीज, then only that reforms will be good. Then otherwise reform has no value. अगर हमने कुछ रिफॉर्म बनाया, जैसे राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन एक्ट लाया हमने, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एक्ट गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर्स और गवर्नमेंट इज कंपल्सरी टू गिव अस इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग द गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज. गवर्नमेंट ने जो भी डिसीजन लिया है वो हमें गवर्नमेंट को बताना पड़ता है. हम RTI से वो जान सकते हैं, राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन से जान सकते हैं हम. सो दिस इज गुड. But after we come to know that government has not worked properly, government has done corruption, so there should be mechanism, there should be some other institutions or there should be some people who will implement the policies. अगर ये गलत चीज हुआ है तो हम कोर्ट में जा सकते हैं और कोर्ट बाद में चेक करेगा और कोर्ट सजा देगा जिसने गलत काम किया है. So these are the institutions that we have set up. So along with the reforms, we should also, the good solution is that we should also keep people, or we should also recruit people to implement that reforms. So that is very important. So hope you have understood about political reforms also. So let us recall what we have studied about democracy, and we have last year we have defined democracy. So let us see what are the different features of democracy. See, first feature is the rulers elected by the people must take all the decisions. So in democratic government, leaders which are elected by the people, they should take all the major decisions. If you take example of India, then prime minister or ministers that are elected by the people, they are taking major decisions. कोई बाहर का कंट्री आके या बाहर का लीडर आके हमारे यहाँ डिसीजंस नहीं लेता है, हमारे लीडर्स हमारे लिए डिसीजन लेते हैं. सेकंड इज इलेक्शन मस्ट ऑफर अ चॉइस एंड फेयर अपॉर्चुनिटी टू पीपल टू चेंज द करंट रूलर्स. सो जो आज पावर में है, अगर वो अच्छी तरीके से काम नहीं कर रहे तो हमारे पास पावर होना चाहिए कि हम उन्हें ओवरथ्रो कर सकते हैं, उन्हें हरा सकते हैं. So that is done by election. So election should be free and fair. Election free and fair होना चाहिए. और जो लोग आज पावर में हैं, अगर गलत काम कर रहे हैं तो हमें उनको हराने का चांस मिलना चाहिए. There are many countries in the world. Last year we have studied about PRI, Institutional Revolutionary Party in Mexico. That political party was ruling Mexico for more than 50 years. So they were not allowing other people to rule, other political parties to rule. So people were not having fair chance. Or if you take example of China, चाइना इज ओनली हैविंग सिंगल पार्टी गवर्नमेंट. एक ही पार्टी है वहां, दूसरा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को नहीं आने देते, दूसरा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी वहां अलाउड नहीं है. तो लोगों को चांस ही नहीं है, एक ही पॉलिटिकल पार्टी को इलेक्शन में वोट देना पड़ता है. सो लीडर्स हु आर करंटली इन पावर, दे आर नॉट लूजिंग द इलेक्शंस इफ दे आर नॉट वर्किंग प्रॉपरली. सो इन अ डेमोक्रेटिक गवर्नमेंट, लीडर्स हु आर करंटली इन पावर should have fair chance of losing and the election should be free and fair. Third is choice and opportunity should be available to people on equal basis. So इक्वल बेसिस, मेल हो फीमेल हो या फिर कोई भी सिटीजन हो कंट्री का, सभी को इक्वल वोटिंग राइट मिलना चाहिए. सो ऑल ऑफ देम शुड हैव इक्वल वोटिंग राइट एंड दैट राइट शुड बी अवेलेबल टू एवरीबडी. एंड पीपल शुड बी एबल टू express their feelings after some equal interval of time. Like in India we are having elections after 5 years. 5 साल के बाद कोई भी हो इंडिया में, पुअर हो रिच हो, सभी को वोटिंग राइट्स है. दे कैन वोट अगेंस्ट द गवर्नमेंट एंड दे कैन वोट फॉर द गवर्नमेंट. लोग गवर्नमेंट पसंद आया तो गवर्नमेंट के लिए वोट कर सकते हैं, गवर्नमेंट पसंद नहीं आया तो गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट वोट कर सकते हैं. सो दे आर हैविंग चॉइस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटी शुड बी अवेलेबल टू पीपल ऑन इक्वल बेसिस. एंड लास्ट इज द एक्सरसाइज ऑफ दिस चॉइस मस्ट लीड टू गवर्नमेंट दैट इज लिमिटेड बाय बेसिक रूल्स ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो गवर्नमेंट जो भी बन रहा है, अगर इलेक्शन के बाद जो भी गवर्नमेंट बन रहा है, दैट गवर्नमेंट शुड वर्क अंडर द लिमिट्स दैट आर सेट बाय द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने जो लिमिट्स दिया है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने जो भी पावर दिया है गवर्नमेंट को, वो पावर यूज करके गवर्नमेंट ने काम करना चाहिए. वो पावर के खिलाफ, पावर के बाहर नहीं जाके काम करना चाहिए. देयर आर सम रूल्स दैट आर सेट बाय द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. द गवर्नमेंट विच इज इलेक्टेड बाय द पीपल शुड वर्क अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट रूल्स ओनली. उस रूल्स में ही काम करना चाहिए, उसके बाहर जाके काम नहीं करना चाहिए. And there are some rights that are given to the citizen. Like last year we have studied about fundamental rights that are given to the citizen. So fundamental rights are the basic rights that are given to the citizen. So गवर्नमेंट जब भी काम करता है तभी गवर्नमेंट को ये फंडामेंटल राइट्स पीपल को देना चाहिए, पीपल को एंजॉय करने देना चाहिए. इफ गवर्नमेंट इज वर्किंग अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस फीचर्स, then only that government is called as good government. So it takes time for every democracy to establish this. So there are some drawbacks, like we have seen challenges of deepening of democracy, then we have seen expansion of democracy, and then foundation of democracy. There are few various challenges that are faced by democratic government, but after some time that challenges are overcome. If you take example of India, then during independence or first election was carried out in India, then very few people were knowing about elections, but now people are aware, people are educated, they know what is good for them, what is bad for them, and they are electing good leaders also. If the leaders are not working properly, even though that leaders are giving money, but still people are voting against that leaders. So in various cases we have seen genuine people are winning the elections. There are some people who are using some bad practices to get elected, but we can say that the elections are still free and fair in India than other countries in the world. So hope you have understood this chapter. If you have understood, please share the video with your friends and please subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.